let me just say, if you ever get a group of expats, meaning 2 or more together, within about 3 minutes, we're going to talk about rent, right? How much did your rent go up? My rent only went up 40%. Oh my God, only 40%? That's amazing. So what is Singapore going to do, right, as demand to come here increases, but supply remains the same? In my Econ 101 days, you know what happens, right? Rents, places in international schools, right? So with this great demand, what is EDB and the Singapore government doing to address those issues?
Thanks, Steve. I get this very circular argument thrown at me, and it generally goes this way. A lot of people want to come to Singapore. They are raising the prices of our residential properties. Therefore, people don't want to come to Singapore. And I was like, well, that's a great market correcting measure. But in fact, it has been true. Actually, that there's been a lot of interest, a substantial amount of interest to come to Singapore after COVID restrictions were lifted. The difference in my version of the story from yours is that the supply is not remaining the same. So what I do tell individuals who've been renting in Singapore for a while, and I will be very honest, they did see a big spike in their rents if they tried to renew their contracts last year or earlier this year. I will tell them a few things. Number one, actually, the rents in Singapore were almost static for a decade. They barely moved for a decade before COVID. What happened during COVID was that there was a significant supply crunch in the construction of new residential units. So because construction workers were unable to do their job during COVID or to come in, we stopped a lot of residential construction. The good news is the supply is coming on, and it's coming on gangbusters. So approximately 100,000 residential units are going to be built between now and 2025. 40,000 will be built in this year alone, which means there's a huge amount of residential supply coming onto the market, and we believe that that should moderate rentals. And I think there's been a lot said about actually how there's already been signs that rentals are moderating, simply because there's additional supply coming on the market. So that's my Econs 101 theory.